All right, everyone, there's a couple exciting Nintendo Switch stories we have to talk about today, starting with Sega and their most recent investor call, actually revealing some plans that they will be working on multiple remakes and remasters in the upcoming months and years. Some games I am very hopeful to see, so we have to go over that. Then the big talking point for today's video is the brand new update that was announced for Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, as we now know what our May N64 game is, and we have to have a broad conversation of where the service is headed from here, as there is only one more N64 game confirmed to be added to the service. So we have to break down when that will hit and when the future updates will come and what games may be around the corner. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now guys, we just got a couple massive stories to talk about today, and we have to kick it off with Sega and some brand new information from them around their future roadmap with new games that they are planning to develop. As you may know, that a lot of companies, not just Nintendo, have recently been wrapping up their quarterly financial briefings where essentially they let their investors know that are giving them money for their companies and their projects that they are working on, what their plans are and what they're forecasting in terms of upcoming revenue growth and how they're going to get there. And one of the things Sega said was very interesting to me, as I have a lot of nostalgia for the old school Sega titles. However, over the course of time, I find myself not being as hardcore of a Sega fan as I once was growing up, as I just feel like they've made a lot of missteps in the 3D era over the course of time. And while I am very pumped for Sonic Frontiers, and that's going to be their big blockbuster game in my opinion for this year in 2022, it also sounds like they have multiple other projects up their sleeves. And to get on the same page with exactly what has been said here, I do want to quickly hop over to VGC where they have a breakdown of exactly what's been claimed. Sega says it's planning multiple remakes, remasters, and new games this year. The company promises a significant increase in new titles by the end of March 2023. In a presentation detailing its results for the fiscal year ending March 2022, parent company Sega Sammy reported strong sales of console and PC games, citing increased profits compared to fiscal year 2021 and forecasting even higher numbers for fiscal year 2023. It puts this forecast down to a significant increase in titles, as well as continued revenue from the large number of new titles released during fiscal year 2022. This includes a number of new games it describes as remake/remaster, spin-off, or change of theme, of which it says it is planning multiple titles. According to Sega, in its last financial year, it sold approximately 4 million games that fell into this category, including Sonic Colors Ultimate, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, and Lost Judgment, which is considered a spin-off of Yakuza. Sega predicts that it will sell around 5 million games in the same category in the financial year ending March 2023. This includes Sonic Origins, which is released on June 23rd. It was reported last month that Sega is working on big budget reboots of Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio, though these are so early in development that they almost certainly won't be among the remakes and remasters planned for fiscal year 2023. So in my personal opinion, while Sega has absolutely made many missteps over the recent months and years, most recently with Sonic Origins and how they're pricing that collection of games and also doing it digital only and having numerous tiers, like why are they overcomplicating something that should be simple? And you know, they have this super game project that we know about. We don't know how much of the stuff is going to be games as a service where you kind of, play for free at first and then you get skins and unlockables. Like, I hope that they're not committing directly to that path, although we are seeing that way more prevalent in today's day and age in the gaming industry. I am hopeful that they can lean into some of the nostalgia factor that they have with classic titles that they've created over all these years, that they've been an established gaming company, once upon a time a console manufacturer, that yes, let's bring back some classic titles. I am personally hyped when I hear names like Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. My nostalgia floods into the Dreamcast era and even the original Xbox, as Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller, the amount of time that I put into that game between the mini games and the main game, it was absolutely insane. And then Jet Set Radio Future definitely took up the majority of my hours in that particular genre. And so knowing that those are around the corner later on is definitely hype, but they might have some very big unannounced titles that could be ready to go. I hope one day we see them bring back Gunstar Heroes. I don't know if you guys have the kind of nostalgia for that game as I do, but this is a awesome 2-player shooter that you have to go through with a friend. I mean, you can do it yourself as well, and it's still fun, but this is one of the best sit-down couch co-op shooters that I've ever played in my life. Having that remade or remastered with modern visuals or just a brand new installment in the Gunstar Heroes series altogether would be absolutely next level. When you talk about Sonic remakes and remasters, let's get Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, really arguably the pinnacle of the 3D entries in the Sonic series so far, ported over to the Nintendo Switch and other consoles in the modern era with brand new visuals from the ground up overhaul. I think that would be fantastic and would most likely sell well. I'll even take Sonic Heroes, as I really enjoyed my playthrough on that in the GameCube in the 3D Sonic games as well. And there's many other IP that Sega owned that they could bring back and that I believe would sell very well in the current day. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below what games you would most like to see brought back in the modern era of consoles and how you would like to see them released. So definitely share all your thoughts and feelings on your personal predictions around what Sega may be working on when we talk about remakes and remasters in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today has to do with Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, as late last night there was a brand new update announced for the service. It is our May N64 title. This is none other than Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. As you can see, Nintendo tweeted out the following statement: "Inhale enemies and combine their abilities in Kirby's adventure beyond Dreamland. Dozens of puffed up special powers await in Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, floating onto Nintendo Switch for Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack members on 5/20. So first off, I'm very pumped that this is our May game, as I have some heavy nostalgia for Kirby 64. I did not own it myself, but I played it at a friend's house all the time, and we did get through the entire game and also had some very enjoyable experiences through the multiplayer on this game, as you have 4-player mini games that are all very fun and enjoyable. Now, I have childhood memories of this, so I don't know how it's aged over the years, but I am excited to check it out again because it's one that I never went back and played through as time went on, so I really will be experiencing this freshly again, but with some of those nostalgic memories that I'm sure will pop up along the way. And I'm just happy that we now, of course, have our May game announced. It's out next week, and I'm very pumped to hop back in and play through this title for the first time in years and years. Now, one thing in terms of gameplay is if you see the characters, they are clearly in 3D, but the actual level progression is very much a 2D or 2.5D style game. And so don't go into this expecting it to be anything like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, but I do think that it is a quality N64 title, and I'll be curious to see. I can't remember if in the trailer if Nintendo confirmed that there would be online multiplayer for their multiplayer modes. I would assume so, because pretty much every other NSO game so far that has multiplayer modes does have that supported, but we will have to wait and see for that one. But besides the announcement of Kirby 64, it creates an interesting talking point around the fact that we now only know Pokemon Snap to be the only other confirmed N64 title to the service. So you really have to wonder at that point, does Nintendo end their roadmap and maybe take a break for a while from the consistent monthly updates, or did they strategically plan their end of announced N64 games for the month of June, when we know to expect their Summer Direct presentation to take place, and that's when we get the next batch round of updates? Or there's a curveball conversation to be had in there too, with them potentially just unveiling Game Boy Advance and or Game Boy family of systems to be added into the service, and that's kind of where they shift some of their focus. Well, in my personal opinion, I think it is most likely, of course, we still see Pokemon Snap hit next month. We get that summertime direct presentation, and they have a new N64 Plus expansion pack overview trailer, or NSO Plus expansion pack rather, overview trailer that highlights the updated roadmap of N64 titles, and we get a look at the next 6 to 8 titles that are around the corner for the service. I think that is personally more likely than seeing Game Boy family of systems added in at the Summer Direct. If I'm a betting man, I think Nintendo sticks to their regular schedule of adding in the big new console update to NSO in something like their September Direct, as historically that's always been the presentation that they've made those new game console announcements. But I do think we get an updated roadmap of what future N64 games we can expect. And to hop on the speculation train quickly on that, we know there's some major titles out there that may or may not come as part of the expansion pack. The big first one in question that we have to briefly touch upon is GoldenEye. Where is it? That is a great question. Jeff Grubb has been talking about this game for a while. Him him and Andy Robinson both made hints that, you know, the favorite spy is coming back. It'll be right around the corner. Of course, we then had some real world events that may or may not have held the game back. It's all clearly speculation at this point, but does GoldenEye 64 come over as part of NSO? If they announce that at a summer direct, I'm pretty sure the internet will break and their expansion pack sales will go through the roof. And apparently they're doing pretty well already, because Furukawa did say in the latest financial briefing, which is now fully transcribed officially from Nintendo themselves, that Nintendo Switch Online users, the majority of them actually upgraded after the expansion pack was available, and then now they are even seeing brand new accounts come into the expansion pack to help grow those numbers. But I think a game like GoldenEye, and you put online multiplayer available day one for that thing, will absolutely sell the service. But there is also the likely possibility that GoldenEye comes out as a Microsoft remastered title and Nintendo just gets some kind of joint release, and maybe they are actually physically sold and digitally sold as standalone remasters of this game, as we don't know that it is just the vanilla N64 version. This could be something completely done from the ground up. Besides GoldenEye, give us some Smash Bros 64 with online play. Give us Donkey Kong 64, hopefully Diddy Kong Racing. There is a large library of rare titles that absolutely need to make it over. We probably will see the Mario parties. We know, according to the data mine, that roughly it's 32 or 36, something like that, total titles are slated for this service, and we right now are just at 15 with Kirby being added in, fastly approaching 16 with Pokemon Snap being added in, but we still have a long path to go to really fully build out the N64 library, and so there's going to be a lot of hype announcements along the way. At this point in the video, guys, I want to hear from you all personally on both the stories we talked about today. What remakes and remasters are you most hopeful that Sega is indeed working on? And definitely share with me whether or not you think Nintendo continues to stick to their one per month N64 game for the foreseeable future, and you think we get the next update trailer at something like the Summer Direct presentation, or if you think it is more likely that they take a break from this for a while and it's more sporadic updates from here, and we may not have as clear as a roadmap going forward. And definitely let me know whether or not you think Game Boy family of systems are around the corner, or if Nintendo's more likely to stick to N64 games and Sega Genesis games for the time being. So I want to hear from you guys, regardless of your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about today, in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Make sure you check out yesterday's video if you haven't already, where we discussed some brand new Nintendo Switch games that were just confirmed to be headed to the console, and a very mysterious Nintendo Switch base model price drop, and a discussion around what that could mean for the future pricing lineup of the family of systems. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.